Rollins, where you come on, you're smart, but you're not that smart.
I was baiting him during batting practice. I said, if you don't put one down on him, you showed me nothing. You got to go ahead and put it down.
263 last year for Rollins. Stolen base threat as well. He swiped 20 up the middle, backhanded by Enrique Wilson, but no chance at first.
And that's something that Larry Bow has been wanting out of Jimmy Rollins for the last 3 years, is hit the ball on the ground and utilize your speed. You know, Jimmy yesterday hit a home run in yesterday's game against the Yankees, and I asked Larry Bow about it. I said, what do you think about Jimmy's home run? He said, I didn't even see it. He said, I turned my head. He said, I don't want to see him hit home runs this year. And that's been his problem in his career, is he'll hit a couple home runs. Now he thinks he's a home run hitter, and he gets away from his game, which is hitting the ball on the ground.
There's Jason Michaels, the right fielder, limited duty, hit .330 last year. He hits that past A-Rod, a bullet down the left field line. Hideki Matsui over to play it. He'll try for third. Rollins in trouble, and he is out. Rodriguez handled the bouncing throw from Matsui and put the tag on Rollins. In the second goes Michaels with 2 outs.
Well, the thing you got to remember when Kevin Brown is pitching, you're going to get a lot of ground balls. That's 3 balls that have been on the ground. Nice play by Matsui. And look at Alex's positioning right there. Makes a nice tag. Good slide by J. Roll. But he's got him. Anytime the ball's in front of you, that's your decision as the runner. I like the gamble. It's spring training. Put it on him.
I agree with you, Harold, 100%. I think that, and that's what Larry Bow wants from these guys. He wants aggressive base running. Last year they got a little stagnant and they didn't score as many runs. But I'll tell you, Jason Michaels could be a key to this team off the bench. Guy can swing the bat.
And here's the other key, as you identified him, John. Pat Burrell, just a .209 average last year after signing a $50 million contract. And the Philly fans, perhaps uncharacteristically patient last year with Burrell. He commented that he appreciated they were relatively gentle with him. Don't think that'll continue this year if he continues to struggle. Jeter's throw a little high. Burrell's out, and that ends the inning. Phillies get 2 hits but do not score after half inning. Philadelphia nothing. And the Yankees coming up, including A-Rod.
Let me guess, stuffed French toast down at IHOP.
Yeah, right now at IHOP, it's stuffed French toast. Sweet cream cheese on the inside, creamy whipped topping, and your choice of fruit on the outside. Served with all your favorite stuff right alongside. Stuffed French toast at IHOP. Everybody's packing in just to get a taste. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
Welcome to the wireless age. Got your HP Pavilion ZT3020 notebook PC featuring Intel Centrino mobile technology. Your HP camera and wireless printer. Setting it up was easy, right, Techno Boy? Because you went to CompUSA for that state-of-the-art HP engineering. Then CompUSA came over, set it up, and trained you for free. Who else gives you so much attention? CompUSA. Unmatched.
Think you can't get high-speed internet at your house? Think again. Directway is high-speed internet by satellite. It's super fast, instant internet access available anywhere in the continental U.S. All you need is a clear view of the southern sky. Directway means faster connections, faster surf speeds, faster everything. And it won't tie up your phone line. Sound good? Flip to channel 227 and I'll tell you all about the high-speed internet option you've been missing. It's a no-brainer. Channel 227. The faster, the better.
Lighter, faster, smaller, huge. Get the latest in form, function, and flat-out fun with a special offer from Dell. Choose from 2 outstanding systems. Get 1 exceptional value. On the desk or on the move, do more with a powerful PC that combines the latest technology in 1 package. Dell, America's favorite PC. Channel 227 all this weekend.
Miller High Life brings you the starting lineup this afternoon for the New York Yankees, who won 101 games in the regular season last year. Second year in a row at 100 wins plus. Kenny Lofton, the center fielder. Derek Jeter at short. A-Rod to bat third and play third. Then Giambi, Sheffield, and Matsui. Posada, Sierra, and Wilson, and that is pretty close to what the lineup will be 1 month from now when the Yankees open the regular season. Lofton, the center fielder, leads off. Bernie Williams out of action. He had an appendectomy and hopes to be back by opening day. Then the question becomes, who will be the Yankee center fielder? Will it be Lofton with Williams as the DH, or the other way around?
You know, it's interesting too, Sean, that, you know, when you look at this could be their lineup opening day, the luxury for Joe Torre to come to spring training and say, day one, this is going to be our lineup. Now I get you guys a couple at bats, get the work in, watch guys progress, and it allows them time to watch some of their younger players develop and go play and know that I don't have to make a decision on anybody. We got our lineup. Makes it a little easier for spring training.
Yeah, and I think the decision on who's going to play center field is up to Bernie Williams. I think that Joe Torre is a guy who's very loyal to the guys who have been around long enough. And I think he'll ask Bernie, you know, you tell me if you want to play 4 games and a week and then DH 3, you let me know, and it's up to you. And I think Kenny has to understand that.
Lofton chopped to the second. Chase Utley over to Jim Rushford for the out. 1 out for Kevin Millwood in his second year with the Phillies. Signed a 1-year free agent deal this offseason, about $11 million.
Yeah, and I was talking to Kevin about that. I said, I was surprised to see you back in Philadelphia. There were so many reports of him not wanting to come back. He said he always wanted to come back. And that was the thing that he wanted to get out there for people to understand. I wanted to come back. I was surprised I got him for 1 year, but he wanted to come back.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of people in Philadelphia surprised, too, when he agreed to accept salary arbitration and come back with the Phillies. But, you know, he said it all along. He said, I want a chance to win, and I have the best chance in Philadelphia than anywhere else.
Jeter hit a number down to third. Tomas Perez threw him out. 2 down here in the first.
And you can see Kevin last year struggled with his weight and his conditioning. You know, late in the season, you'd watch him pitch, and you know, after the 3rd inning, he's drenched with sweat and he's breathing hard. And he told me, he said, you know, Crookie, let me know, you know, halfway through the season, I'm gonna have a lot of meal money left.
You happy to take it off his hands?
I would be more than happy. Got $11 million. Come on.
Here's A-Rod, his first at bat as a member of the Yankees, against one of the best pitchers in the National League, Kevin Millwood. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Marty Foster, the home plate umpire. Rodriguez, with those totals last year as a Texas Ranger, the MVP in the American League as a result of those numbers. Just the 5th time the MVP has been from a losing team. Chopped up the middle to Rollins, and he gets Rodriguez by a step, and the Yankees go in order on 3 ground balls against Millwood in the first. Maybe they'll trade him. No score after 1.
Last week on Dream Job.
A little cliche, not that original.
3 words. Cut your hair.
I did not think that was good enough.
You've been cut. This week, 10 remain, and 2 will be cut.
It's go time.
Dream Job, Sunday at 10 on ESPN. Who will be cut next?
Fresh, made to order. Sonic's got it, others don't. At Sonic, you won't find any microwaves around here, but you will find delicious all-beef burgers served with the freshest ingredients around and made after you order them, the way you like them. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
So I'm at the Western Open. It's final round Sunday, and it's pouring. It is coming down. The 4th round's been moved to Monday, so I've got to move my Monday to Tuesday. Luckily, I signed up for InPhone. I use it to leave voice emails for everyone on my staff and to get new flight options home. Since I've got the day off, I ask them what's playing at the movies. All that only cost me 89 cents.
Need to rearrange things a bit? Don't just make a call. Make an InPhone call. Sign up is free at InPhone.com.
That call was the shot of the day.
On March 26th,
I'm looking for a quiet tenant.
I am quiet, and yet not quiet.
Tom Hanks is the most charming.
We play church music.
Sneaky.
This is a criminal enterprise.
Brilliant. Ingenious.
You're all going to be very, very rich.
Criminal mastermind. To ever attempt.
What was that?
The crime of the century.
Let us make beautiful music.
The Lady Killers. Rated R.
You know the feeling. Every guy's had it. You're unbeatable, unstoppable. You got that walking on water feeling. You look, they smile. You win, they go home. It's the feeling you get every day with the world's best shave, Mach 3 Turbo. It's like having an angel by your side. Every move is smooth. Every word is cool. never want to lose that feeling.
Alex Rodriguez already tested in the field, handled a couple of chances cleanly at third base in the first inning. 0 for 1 at the plate. And here come the Phillies against Kevin Brown in the second with Mike Lieberthal, the DH today, leading off. Lieberthal, Chase Utley, and Tomas Perez. Brown gave up a couple of singles in the first. The Phillies had a runner thrown out at third and did not score. Lieberthal, typical good season with the bat, .313 with 81 runs batted in. Phillies went 86 and 76 last year. Narrowly missed the wild card. The Marlins beat them out. For a while late in the year, the Phillies had the wild card lead. The Marlins surge took it away from them.
I was pulling for them. I really thought the Phillies were going to do it. But the Marlins were very impressive down the stretch. They got hot.
Their pitching got really hot down the stretch. Josh Beckett and Brad Penny, and they just dominated the league.
Well, if you're A-Rod, you want the action right away?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you want that ball hit to you. He does a nice job here reading it, understanding what you can do, your capabilities. He knows he's got a great arm, so he can back up and make that play. And then real simple here, getting the action early, put yourself in the right position to make the throw and make the tag. So a couple nice plays out of Alex early, and I think that's going to help him relax and settle in. You know he's going to hit, you know, so.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about A-Rod's hitting. We got a lot of bad things to worry about. He's the best going. I just think he's going to be a Gold Glove third baseman. You know, you can say what you want about him. I mean, the guy is an athlete, and athletes can adjust. And
they figure it out.
They figure out a way to be successful. Now, he might not be the textbook prettiest third baseman a la Greg Nettles, but he's going to be A-Rod, and believe me, he's a better athlete than Nettles ever was. Since he's an old teammate, I can talk about it now.
Lieberthal at first with the third Philadelphia hit, being held on by Giambi. Chase Utley, the batter, 1-0 the count.
You know, Sean, last inning we were talking about Kevin Brown's numbers. 32 starts. That surprises me because the way we've talked about him all year last year seemed like he was a broke-down old car that he only made about 10 starts. 32 starts is getting out there at a pretty good, consistent pace. And I think that today, the thing I've seen out of him, he's got the good sinker working. He's got 4 ground balls in the first inning. Here's another one. Yeah, it's a base hit, but it's a ground ball. Those are things you look at in spring training if you're Joe Torre. And the base hit before that was a blooper over the second baseman. So they're not hitting hard, but you look at those things. That's what the difference with spring training and the regular season. You're sitting there looking at things that you're going to look at later and say, okay, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
And I would think a guy like Brown, almost 39 years old, he's been around, been an all-star, pitched in a lot of big games. He still has to have some butterflies today, putting on the pinstripe uniform for the first time, trying to come out and make an immediate impression in his new surroundings.
Absolutely. If you don't, it's time to go home. It's time to come sit up here.
Well, when you put those pinstripes, I don't care how old you are, you're a rookie again. I mean, that's just the aura, and that's why I want to talk about the the aura of the Yankees. You know, when you lose Clemens, Pettit, David Wells, guys who've been successful in pinstripes, you bring in guys who have never been in this situation. They're not prepared for it, and I think, you know, I don't think they're going to get off to a bad start, but if they do, it could be that for that one reason is that, you know, they haven't adjusted yet to playing in pinstripes.
And part of that adjustment, you see another liner back at Giambi.
He knocks it down, looked the runner back, Lieberthal to third, then made the play. That was a well-struck ball by Perez. Lieberthal at third still, and into second goes Utley. 2 men in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, this is every first baseman's nightmare right here. A lefty with having to hold a runner on, and you know, but that's the great thing about playing first base. You just knock it down, and you're going to get an out somewhere. The problem is it's going to hurt for a while.
That ball right off his left leg. I know he's going to feel that for a while.
Sometimes we wonder why we didn't bring gloves out there.
Guys, put you on the corner, man.
But, you know, it's a great place for fat people to play first base. I mean, I'm successful there because you just get in the way.
Jim Rushford trying to dump it in right. It's caught. Sheffield's throw to the plate on the money, and Lieberthal is out. Second outfield assist for the Yankees in as many innings. Matsui threw out Rollins in the first going into third, and now Sheffield with his first assist as a member of the Yankees. A perfect throw to Posada, who was waiting for Lieberthal. No score after an inning and a half.
ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today.
It's the big thank you sale at Sears. Come in now through Saturday and let us say thanks with extra savings, even on sale prices. Save an extra 15% off shoes and clothing, including all the newest spring fashions. Savings really add up when you take an extra 10% off all home appliances, all lawn gear, all tools, and all electronics. So come in now through Saturday and let us say thanks with extra savings at the big thank you sale at Sears. Get more of the good life. Sears, good life, great price.
Tonight on ESPN, the Mavericks and Spurs battle in the first game of an NBA doubleheader. Coverage begins at 7. The second game at 10:30 pits the Red Hot Nets versus the Warriors. At 7 on ESPN2,
the My Sports Center competition heating up.
If you missed the last episode of Dream Job, here's your chance to see who survived the cut. And at 9, Friday Night Fights. It's all on ESPN and ESPN2 tonight.
I moved to Earthlink because my wireless connection goes where I do.
We moved because I can be online and she won't miss a call. It's for me.
I moved because I can have high speed at home and still get email wherever I go.
I moved to Earthlink because they help keep online intruders out.
I moved to Earthlink because their customer service gets it right the first time.
Different people, different passions, different reasons for moving to Earthlink. From an array of access options to an assortment of protection tools. What will your reasons be? Call 1-800-747-6491 and get 6 months of dial-up service featuring Earthlink Accelerator at half price.
I'm with Earthlink because they revolved around me for 10 years.
Celebrate 10 years of Earthlink making the internet better. Performance, control, protection. Choose the internet that's right for you. Call, go online, or visit these retailers and get 6 months of dial-up service featuring Earthlink Accelerator at half price. Move to Earthlink. It revolves around you.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of spring training presented by Miller High Life. The Phillies and the Yankees for the second straight day. Today playing in Tampa. Phillies won yesterday in Clearwater 5-1. No score in this one after an inning and a half despite 4 hits already for the Phillies. And the first pitch of the second from Kevin Millwood. A strike to Jason Giambi. We've all heard a lot about how he is noticeably not as large as he was last year, and that is certainly true as you get a look at him on camera. He says he's only lost about 4 pounds, did it by staying away from the junk food. And you were saying, Harold, during the break between innings, a disappointing year last year for Giambi, and he still had 41 homers.
41 home runs. I mean, take that as a bad year.
I'd take that as a career.
That was way more than my career. 41. He almost doubled me, put it that way, to be totally honest up here.
Well, you played in that pitcher's friendly card.
Yeah.
The King Dome. Didn't it fly out of there?
Yeah, it did. Ball jumped, and I still didn't hit homers. What's that telling you?
You knew your role.
Yes, indeed.
1-2 the count on Giambi. Just inside the pitch from Millwood, who pitched a 1-2-3 first. 14 wins last year, 14-12. He was the only pitcher in the majors last year to throw a complete game no-hitter. He did it against the Giants on April 27th. Only Greg Maddux with 36 made more starts than Millwood's 35 in the National League, and he gets Giambi with the breaking ball.
I talked to Kevin before the game. I said, in spring training, what do you try to do? He said, I'll throw all my pitches. You know, today I'll try to throw 50 pitches. As you look at the graphic there, I'm sure I don't have to point it out. You can read it home.
Really, their rotation's all set. There's no competition. That's going to be the 5, barring injury. They're counting on Eric Milton, the former Yankee and Twin, to come back.
Yeah, if he can come back and be healthy, that's a nice left-hander to pick up in that rotation.
Yeah, and it adds another lefty to their rotation. Randy Wolf being the only one, only lefty they had last year in their rotation, but. You know, they really don't have what you call number one. You know, you don't have anyone that has the ability of Kevin Brown. But what they have is they have 5 number 2s. which I think is, going into this season, I think any team would take that.
Gary Sheffield retired on the first pitch. He hit a chopper to short, and Jimmy Rollins threw him out. More spring training baseball on ESPN presented by Miller High Life. Monday, 2 Eastern time, the Angels against Ichiro and the Mariners. Ichiro hit .312 last season. That was a disappointing year.
It's incredible the things we expect these days.
And we expect Vladimir Guerrero to play in that game. What a great addition he should be. If he can stay healthy for the Angels, another much improved team. We'll see that game live from Peoria, Arizona.
I'll tell you what, they're going to be able to throw some offense at you too, the Anaheim Angels.
Here's Hideki Matsui. And even though it's spring training for the game on the field again today, the throng of Japanese media, cameramen and reporters everywhere chronicling every move of Matsui.
Can you imagine how nice a man he has to be, Matsui, to put up with that every day?
Every day. And you know what's interesting, looking back at his year last year, he had a very solid season his first year, but he didn't win Rookie of the Year. And for a Japanese player coming over, that's really the first time. Ichiro won the Rookie Year, Nomo, and the argument has always been, well, they were professionals before they got over here. How can they be considered rookies? And I think the reason he lost last year, Angel Baroa, with the Royals, was only 21 years old. And I think that really made a big difference in the voting last year.
Well, they need to set a policy.
They really do.
And say either these guys are going to be eligible, because to me, if he was a rookie last year, Matsui, should have been considered a rookie, he should have been the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I was strong against the fact that I don't think when they come over and play here after you've been 9 or 10 years, it's almost an insult to Ichiro and to Matsui for the numbers they put up. You win 6 batting titles in Japan, you come here and all of a sudden you're a rookie.
And that's Major League Baseball for them over there. They've been playing Major League Baseball. I would have no problem if they made the policy that if you play professionally in Japan, you're not a rookie when you come over here. But that isn't the policy now, so to me he should have been the Rookie of the Year. Although he just struck out, so never mind. Give it to Baroa. Coming up, Cal Ripken did it late in his career. Greg Nettles did it in New York. A-Rod doing it in the prime of his career. What has he learned, and how will he do in the early going?
Raspberry lambic, apple cider, hard lemonade. That whole Garden of Eden debacle should have taught us one thing: steer clear of the fruit. If Adam had realized this, why, he'd still be living the high life.
Something is about to happen at McDonald's, maybe even your McDonald's. Because from Friday, March 5th through Sunday, March 7th, 15 lucky winners will receive $1 million just for stopping by. There are no game pieces, nothing to collect, and no purchase is necessary. All you have to do is be at the right McDonald's at the right time. You just walk into McDonald's and you might walk out a millionaire.
I'm loving it. My technique when I get in the batter's box is to dig in, pull the pant legs up. I try to point the bat to center field, knock the dirt off, and try to look real mean. What do you think of that?
Major League Baseball Charities is a proud partner of Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Now I want to teach you about Pine Tar.
Through programs like RBI and Rookie League, they bring baseball and softball to kids around the world.
Don't be afraid of the ball.
Together, they create a positive place for kids.
Sean McDonough with Harold Reynolds and the newest member of our ESPN baseball broadcast team, John Kruk. Delighted to have you with us from Tampa, the spring training home of the Yankees. They're scoreless with the Phillies after 2. And changes, the first of many at this time of the year in spring training. It's a track meet on and off the field. An all-new battery for the Yankees. Jorge Posada and Kevin Brown done with their work for the day. The new catcher is John Mark. Well, there is Posada. Looked like he was going to come out of the game, but he has come back into the game. And the new pitcher, that is definitely not Kevin Brown, is Donovan Osborne. Lefty.
Where'd he come from?
He's
I think
been
I
around.
faced him a long time ago.
He's been around, 33-year-old veteran trying to make it as a long shot here.
He's one of those guys that came up real young in the big leagues, so you may have faced him, John.
I did face him. I faced him a lot of years, and when he was with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And he's greeted by Jeremy Salazar. A long drive to right center and over the wall on a hop. The leadoff double for Salazar. Kevin Brown pitched 2 innings, allowed 4 hits, all singles. Cal Ripken, certainly a player who made the transition from Gold Glove shortstop to very solid third baseman.
You know, here's my problem I have with all this talk about the shortstop moving to third base. Everybody played short when you started off. You go to Little League Diamond right now, your best player is playing shortstop. And eventually you're going to move somewhere else. Second, third, you're going to move. And I think everybody's saying, oh, my gosh, he's moving to third base. I can't believe it. Oh, gee whiz. Greg Nettles played short. He moved to third. I've seen so many. I can't even name all the players. Everybody in baseball has moved to third base at
Rico
some point.
Petrocelli back in my
They've done it. I just think that we've really blown this thing out of proportion. The guy's a great athlete. He's going to catch the ball. The situation's different, but everybody has moved from shortstop. And I think that's the difference in the game, except for maybe some of you left-handers. Don Mattingly played third base.
Glanville hit it to short. Jeter threw him out. Glanville over 2 on a couple of ground outs.
You're awful quiet there, John.
I just think that the hardest thing for him is we saw him take the throw at third from Matsui from left field, and he was behind the base a little bit. He'll learn to get in front of the base and take that throw. And I think the swing and bunts, with the guy on second base or a bunt play, does he charge? Does he stay back? And, but that's something with instincts will take over after a while.
Well, if he makes the move as well as Greg Nettles, Yankee fans will be ecstatic. And he's been working with Nettles down here in spring training. I think every former Yankee is here as an instructor of one type or another.
They keep him around, don't they?
Let's hope he doesn't pick up all of Nettles' habits.
Nettles he's gonna get you, man.
Yeah, he is. I see him once a year, regardless of whether I want to or not, and he'll have something to say.
Did you see him today?
Yeah, well, when we were up here sitting, I saw him during batting practice. He waved, but I'll play in a golf tournament somewhere with him, I'm sure.
I want to throw something at you on a serious note, too. I mean, you got a chance to go to play in San Diego with Nettles and a lot of veterans when you came up. It is so important to have veterans on your club, and I want you to expound on that a little bit. Well, what did Greg Nettles do for you on the baseball field?
Well, you know what? He taught me how to prepare. When I came up my rookie year, I wasn't playing a lot. I would sit on the bench. He would platoon a lot. We had guys like Jerry Royster, Tim Flannery, Goose Gossage. And he would sit there and just tell me, watch this pitcher, see if you can pick something up. I've never learned how to do that. I didn't know if a guy tipped pitches or they could tell me what was coming. I probably still wouldn't know. But, Greg Nettles was a guy that helped me. So I started focusing on pitchers, picking little things up of, when is he going to throw his breaking ball? When's he going to throw a changeup? And, just stuff like that. Little things that you don't learn in the minor leagues. You can learn all the fundamentals you want. It's the little things. And Greg Nettles taught me a lot of the little things of how to be a successful big league player.
And that's what happens at the big league level when you have veterans around your club. And that's why most teams that go on deep into the playoffs, get into the playoffs, everybody continues talking about, well, that veteran leadership. It's the little things like that. Why it's so important to have those veterans on your club.
Watch how the shortstop positions himself. If he moves a step to his left, it's going to be an off-speed pitch. If he moves a step to his right, it's going to be a fastball. Just little things as a hitter that you can pick up from a veteran that will make your transition from the minor leagues to the big leagues that much quicker.
And I think those are the things that Alex is going to learn at third base. That's his biggest challenge, the situations of the game. Right here, he knows Jimmy Rollins is not going to be bunting. Look at where he's positioned now. He's playing him 5 feet behind third base. Those are the things that you're going to learn. A lot of younger players are still playing him in a bunt situation. This is not a bunt situation. You want him to bunt if he wants to bunt right here.
Well, and he's going to be as good a third baseman as Derek Jeter's going to make him a good third baseman. Tipping off pitches, helping him out that way. Letting him know if the right-handed pull hitter's up, it's going to be an off-speed pitch or a fastball.
Rollins punched out by the first base umpire, Eric Cooper. He didn't think it was a swing. It's the first strikeout of the day by a Phillies hitter. That's the question I was going to ask you, Harold. How much communication will there be between Jeter and A-Rod? How much of a help will Jeter be? How much will A-Rod lean on him?
There'll be an awful lot of communication. And I think the one challenge for both of them, that the reason they'll play all these games of spring training together, is to see how far can Derek go to his right. And that allows Alex to move further to his right and guard the line. And to be able to, Alex is going to be able to range deep to his left. So now that allows Jeter to go up the middle more. Those are the type of things that they're going to be able to do. I think the biggest challenge of it all is to learn your pitching staff, because each pitcher throws different. And when you're able to understand how a pitcher might set up a hitter or what pitch he might throw in certain situations, you can anticipate and move yourself accordingly, even without the shortstop telling you where to move or where not to.
And a lot of guys don't sit in on the pitchers and the catchers meetings. I think A-Rod's a guy who likes to be prepared. He likes to know what's going on. He doesn't want to be caught out there, lack for a better word, naked. I mean, he wants to know what's going on. And he might sit in the pitchers meetings with Posada and with the pitching staff and go over and say, here's how we're going to work these guys. Now here's how he's going to position himself.
See, here's the difference at third base. He's looking in at the hitter. If he's at shortstop, he can look around a little bit. He's got to anticipate, look in, and then adjust to that ball being hit. And he's doing a fine job of it. And this is only day one.
So far, it looks like he's been there his whole career. He's handled a couple of tricky hops and handled them flawlessly. So the Phillies do not capitalize on the leadoff double by Salazar. They have 5 hits in 3 innings, but they still have not scored. As we go to the bottom of the third, let's take a look at the Phillies' projected opening day lineup presented by ESPN Video Games, and we're looking forward to the new Citizens Bank Park. First year for the Phillies in their new park. Marlon Byrd likely to open in center field, followed by Jimmy Rollins, Bobby Abreu, the right fielder, Jim Thome at first base, and Mike Lieberthal catching. Pat Burrell hoping for the bounce back year in left. Placido Polanco, David Bell, bothered by back problems last year in Millwood, to be their opening day starter. Some of those regulars not here today. Perhaps a little bit of aggravation on the part of the Phillies. They have the Yankees coming over yesterday to their park to help them open their brand new spring training home. Yankees didn't bring a whole lot of their regulars. Maybe a little payback today. Larry Boa didn't exactly bring the A lineup over here today either.
Heck yeah, pay them back. I would.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff happens in spring training.
It does.
Teams get agitated that other teams don't bring
your
enough
fans
of their
want to
marquee
see
players
Alex
to their fans.
Rodriguez. They want to see Derek Jeter. These people buy tickets way in advance. Oh, man, the Yankees are coming over to our ballpark. Those guys don't show up. It's not a very exciting day for the fans.
No, and interleagues helped out a lot. You get to see the other players from the other league, but, what, 10 years, 8, 9, 10 years ago, that was the only chance you get to see these guys is come to spring training and watch them. If you're a National League fan, you don't get to see the American League players. So, yeah, it is disappointing that, and especially with opening up the new ballpark over there in Clearwater, the Phillies' new spring training home, and then not having A-Rod or not having Jeter. But, you know what, Joe Torre might have said, I want A-Rod to start his first game here for our fans, not for the Phillies fans, and I don't blame him.
And you can't fault Joe Torre for that or the Yankees. I would have Alex Rodriguez open up in a Yankee uniform at my ballpark. That's just the way it's going to be. The scheduling just didn't work out. And most guys don't travel in spring training anyway. But either way you want to look at it.
Not a long trip across the bay from Tampa to Clearwater.
It's like an unwritten rule, though, isn't it, that when you go to another team's ballpark, you should bring your three-star players. Well, the Yankees have 10-star players.
Right.
So, I mean,
and in defense of the Yankees, they did send Giambi, Sheffield, Matsui over there yesterday.
Yeah, so most teams would be happy with those 3 alone on the team.
Jorge DePaula start the game on the mound. Posada rolls one through the right side, a base hit. Millwood out there for his 3rd inning as he has breezed through the first 2 without giving up a base runner, but now Posada, the first Yankee to reach base, on the seeing eye single through the right side.
Well, the beauty of spring training, what I love about spring training as a fan and as a player, it's the one time you really interact. You can go sign autographs. You don't have to worry about it. You're only going to get 2 at-bats if you're starting a ball game. You go get your running in. You can hang out. You can do a lot of different things. I think that's what makes spring training fun and attractive.
Ruben Sierra, the batter. Now, John, you hated spring training.
You know, the only reason I dislike spring training, never say hate, but disliked greatly, is because I couldn't hit in Florida. And I don't know why. I could not play the game of baseball down here. That was a basket case. I don't know why it was, but I was a terrible spring training player. So I did not look
So you liked it in
forward.
Arizona when you were with the Padres then?
I didn't mind it there.
Come on.
I didn't mind Arizona. I think because we were in Yuma, Arizona, Harold. You've been there.
I've been there.
There's nothing to do. I had a lot to do in Clearwater.
Some of it not entirely helpful for your season preparation.
Harold and I will get into that later on in the summer, I'm sure. But, yeah, it didn't have anything to do with baseball.
That's funny.
Well, you'll love Bristol, Connecticut as you get ready for baseball tonight.
Yeah.
You'll
You think Yuma was dry?
Well, I'm dry now. It's been a while since I've had an adult beverage, and am I thinking about halfway through the summer I might have to start again with you around?
No, I think you'll be all right, man. I'll keep you right. I won't get on you too hard. You'll be all right. I'm a non-drinker. You'll be all right.
Well, we're going to be no fun, are we?
A lot of baseball.
1-2 to Sierra in the dirt. Good stop by Salazar, and back standing Posada. A throw on a hop. Looked like Salazar, as the ball was in the air, was going to pick off Jorge Posada.
That's one of those when you get off the base like Jorge right there, and you think your body is moving so slow to get back. If this throws anyone on the other side of the base, he's out.
Well, and I think Jim Rushford right there, I mean, he was surprised. I don't think he thought Posada was that far away, and he kind of, you know, why is he going out to get Posada? I mean, Posada has to come back to him. You don't go chase him, and it gave Posada time to get around the tag.
It was actually a perfect throw. Hop foul back in this direction.
You got those, Harold.
I got that.
We're protected here by the screen.
I mean, I'm looking at this Yankee lineup, and Ruben Sierra's hitting 8th. This could potentially be Bernie Williams' spot, maybe. You know, depending on where you want to hit Bernie, but 8th in the lineup for a guy like Ruben Sierra, and Ruben's probably going, "You serious? You're going to hit me 8th? You want to win this game?" The confidence is still there, no doubt.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Ruben knows who his teammates are right now. But,
well, there are some
he
good guys.
probably looked at the lineup. He's thinking, "Okay, why is this guy hitting in front of me?"
Oh, that's a bullet to deep center. Glanville retreating, and it is gone.
See, I told you. Why are you hitting me 8th, man? I did crazy. I should be hitting 3rd or 4th. You serious?
Well, not only does he not know who his own teammates are, he probably doesn't know that Kevin Miller's a pretty good pitcher.
He's still going, man. I remember when Ruben, when he was 21, when he broke in with the Texas Rangers, he was an incredible athlete, and he still got it working.
I tell you, you know, that he has that high leg kick at home plate, and you know, you see right here the leg kick. Kevin Miller tries to throw him a fastball, and that's what Ruben hits. He hits fastballs. He's made a living at it. He's made a great living at it, and he's continuing it. How old is he, Harold?
38.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. Some guys got traded this winter and got a little older, so I don't know. Ruben,
including Soriano.
Yes.
Who was listed at 26, and it turns out when he got to the Rangers, he aged 2 years. But the Rangers knew about that when they made the trade.
It's a long trip from New York to Texas, and then you know I can see where he would age. Plus,
in the
he's
wake
not
of
going to win for a
9/11,
while.
the United States government was a lot more diligent in checking the paperwork of people coming into this country from other countries. So, particularly those from Latin America, a number of them aged.
Yes, they did.
Aftermath of that.
So Rafael Furcal gained a couple years, didn't he?
Yes, he
Bartolo
did.
Colon.
Bartolo, yeah.
It's not bad to sign a little young.
Ramon Ortiz. There were several who suddenly aged. Enrique Wilson is the batter. 2 runs in here against Millwood after he pitched 2 perfect innings.
Talking to Enrique Wilson about his stance, I said, "Did you get that from Rod Carew? Did you watch Rod? You know how Rod used to lay that bat down like that?" He was like, "No, I never saw Rod play." I was like, I guess not.
Well, you know, you don't want to watch the good ones. You always want to watch the bad ones and pick up their habits. But how can you not have watched Rod Carew play?
Well, you know, I mean, maybe he was just trying to let me know that he had a little creativity of his own, you know. But that's Rod Carew, man. That's it. And that's sweet.
Caught by Rushford. A well-hit ball. Possible Millwood might be tiring here in the third inning, his first outing of spring training. They've made their first loud noises against him here in the third.
And basically the only thing they've hit off the barrel off of him has been, you know, Ruben Sierra, who probably is not going to get much playing time, and Enrique Wilson, who you have to feel sorry for a guy like Enrique Wilson, though. He's playing with all these stars. I mean, he's basically playing with an all-star team. No one's even going to know he's out there. Unless he makes an error or he strikes out with the bases loaded, it's the only time you're ever going to hear of Enrique Wilson. That's sad.
Well, it's really the only position where Yankee fans can look at it and say we don't have a guy who has a chance to be on the all-star team. In every other position, if the guy has a year, you could make the case he could be an all-star.
This guy can go anywhere he wants in New York, anywhere around the United States of America, and no one's going to know who he is because he's playing with all these stars. That's not a bad way to go.
That sounds like John Kruk in San Diego.
I feel, yeah. No, I can tell you, in San Diego, we had no chance of winning. These guys have a pretty legitimate chance of, you know, maybe sneaking in wild card.
Behind the Red Sox.
Of course.
Lofton takes the ball high. He grounded to second his first time up. Well, that rivalry would be renewed on Sunday down in Fort Myers, the home of the Red Sox. Been an interesting winter in the relationship between those two organizations. If anything, the rivalry with the way last season ended and then the offseason moves. A-Rod almost going to the Red Sox. Instead, he goes to the Yankees. The owners sniping at each other.
That was great stuff.
The rivalry has come
up
even more.
That was great stuff. You know, it was a lot of talk earlier in the week about Alex not making the trip over to play at the Red Sox ballpark down here in spring training, but looks like because of the scheduling, the Yankees have a split squad doubleheader on Sunday. Both teams are going to play, so he and Derek Jeter will both probably go play against the Red Sox that day.
And they should. Yeah, you know, he's got to get used to seeing their pitching. And you know, what's going to happen in spring training? What are they going to do, drill him because he wanted to come there and then the Red Sox decided they didn't want him? I mean, what, you know, come on. It's just, if they're worried about him getting booed in Florida with 7,000 to 10,000 fans, how are they going to feel when he gets to Fenway?
Yeah, I don't think it's a worry on the organization or these players. You go play spring training.
And you would think that they would try to get A-Rod and Jeter together in as many games as they can. This is a limited time in spring training to become accustomed to the new position with each other.
And Sean, I know you know this. The Yankees spring is shortened too. When do they open up? What day is that? The
30th, I believe, in Japan.
Against Tampa Bay. So they've got even a shorter spring than the rest.
So they're probably going to have to leave on, what, the 25th to get over there in time to play on the 30th? Or what?
They play the 30th in Japan. They'll need at least a few days to get over there.
How'd you like to make that trip to start the season?
Only 21 hours.
Oh, come on now, guys.
It's a long way.
For a life experience.
And we'll just set up in Bristol and talk about it.
Yeah.
I heard they were going to send you guys over there to chronicle the beginning of the season.
Yeah, right there.
A-Rod era.
They can send a few of them.
The games start at 5 in the morning, East Coast time.
Jeter got a hanger and lined it in the left.
Well, I think Millwood's fastly approaching that 50-pitch mark, and that's what he wanted to get to. And he said to me before the game he wasn't really worried about how hard he got hit. The main thing is conditioning right now. And I said, well, when do you start feeling like you need to get into a groove? He said about third or fourth outing. Then you start really feeling like you can stretch yourself and challenge hitters and throw different pitches to get guys out.
Oh, and you know, the first couple weeks of spring training, they're throwing against their teammates. They're not putting the same zip on it, you know, the same sharpness on the breaking ball. They're just basically rolling stuff up there. And, you know, now you see hitters from another team, and now it's all of a sudden, okay, it's time to kick it in. It's not that easy to do. I mean, that's why I think it, you know, sometimes pitchers get a little behind early in spring training. A lot of people think they're ahead. I think they're behind. I think that they're not as sharp. They're not as sharp.
They're ahead.
Oh, come on, man. How do you figure they're ahead?
That first day, you start hitting off those pitchers in spring training and practice.
I'll tell you this, they are ahead. Oh, yeah, that's not good. But they are ahead because in about June or July, if you threw that hanging breaking ball to Jeter, it's 4-0.
Yeah.
Instead of just a measly single to left, he might have a 2-run homer.
See, so you agree with me now?
No, I'll never agree with you. It's not my style.
I'm I'm working him already, Sean.
You gotta,
I'm working him, man.
It's spring training for us, too. You got to get him ready for the season.
We're warming up, man. I'm looking forward to baseball tonight. We're going to get a chance to go at it a lot of different times.
You know, when you set a lineup, you think, okay, I need to, like the Phillies, I need to protect Jim Thome with someone hit behind him. I mean, the Yankees protect their ninth hitter. They have protection for their ninth hitter. Their eighth hitter has protection.
There's really not an excuse for having a bad year in this lineup.
No. And this, in my opinion, this will be Joe Torre's toughest year, because I don't care what you say. Yes, they're all great players. Yes, they all have egos, though. And for Joe Torre to have that many stars and to have to put up with that many star egos, this is going to be a tough job for him this year.
And that's why it's smart of Mr. Steinbrenner to mend fences with Joe Torre, because he's the perfect man to handle this, and he's proven it over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, just because you throw this type of talent out on the field doesn't mean the manager quits managing and just says, here, go play. This is when he manages people. The game, yes, you just throw them out there and let them play. This year, he has to manage people.
You hit it right on the nose, John, and I'm going to agree with you on that, managing the people, because the biggest challenge, I think, is going to be the media. Everybody's going to – they already started this whole thing with Jeter and Rodriguez not liking each other, and they went back and they dug up a story from 2001 that was 3 years ago, and in their lives, that's over with. And they have to watch their words, how they say things, because somebody's going to write, oh, here's the way he reacted to that. Even in the beginning of our broadcast, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Alex talking about asked him if he was scared. No, I'm not scared. You know, and there's no way in the world he's going to say, yeah, I'm scared down there. There's no way he could say that. Next thing you know, it's headlines.
Runners go. It's ball 4. Millwood missed low and away on a 3-2 pitch to Rodriguez, so he reaches for the first time as a Yankee. 0 for 1 with a walk. He grounded out his first time up. That's going to do it for Millwood, who clearly seems to be spent. Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach in his second year with the Phillies, on his way to the mound.
John, did you like to go to the
strong
mound?
innings, sorry, Harold. And then
sorry,
it kind of
Sean.
came apart here in the third with a little fatigue setting in.
I was going to ask John if, playing at first base. When I was at second, I loved to go to the mound for conversation. Did you go out there?
I loved it. I loved going to the mound because, first of all, you wanted to hear just exactly what the either manager or pitching coach were going to say, because sometimes it was very stupid. Johnny Padres came out a couple times, was a pitching coach for the Phillies, and would say stuff like, you have great stuff, just keep battling, and the guy.
The pitcher up there. Beyond that, it's the same game. I mean, from the standpoint of pitching, you're still trying to get everybody that walks up there out. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Sean, back to you.
All right, thank you, Kyle. We appreciate the visit. One of the questions, of course, for every athlete who comes to New York, how will he handle New York? Giambi handles that pitch from Victor Alvarez, sends it to deep right, and gone. A grand slam for Jason Giambi.
Scary, man. It is scary.
You could see how that played out when Alvarez couldn't throw a breaking ball for a strike. When you have to throw Jason Giambi fastballs with the bases loaded because you can't walk him, you're going to give up at least 1, possibly 4.
And here's the interesting thing is the message that's sent. He's going to have to hit left-handers because this is the one guy in the lineup that the left-handers are going to come in to get out. When you got Gary Sheffield sitting there behind you, you can have Posada down there, Bernie Williams. All of a sudden, it puts a lot of pressure on that one left-hander to come in and know, I got to get Giambi out. You fall behind, he's going to hurt you.
Yeah, you can't get into a situation where he knows what's coming. And with this guy too, Gary Sheffield, you have to element of surprise against these two guys. The only way to get them out,
particularly in that situation, because you fall behind Jason, you can't give in. But when you look over there and you see Gary Sheffield, just thinking, oh my goodness.
And it's not like it's a spring training game. It's like, okay, even if I walk him, we're only down 3-0, so and we can bring in a righty to get Sheffield now. You're in there, and that's the guy he had to get out. And I'm sure that that's going to be penned into the notebook of Joe Kerrigan.
That the situation in the game changes too for the pitcher. All of a sudden, Millwood knows he's on the squad. He knows he's going to get his starts. Get your work in, Kevin. Have a nice day. All of a sudden, Alvarez, he's trying to win a game. He's trying to win a job on this club. Get Jason Giambi out. Oh, he couldn't do it? Okay, well, next.
Alvarez with the Phillies for the first time. He was with the Dodgers last year briefly, spent most of the year in Dodgers AAA in Las Vegas. Sheffield thrown out for the second out of the inning. The Yankees have batted around. Matsui will be the 9th batter of the inning.
And, you know, the thing is about Harold is Alvarez is trying to make this team, and you always want to make a great first impression, and your first impression to a new team, to Larry Boa, Joe Kerrigan, and the coaching staff of the Phillies is a grand slam. You know, granted, it's Jason Giambi. It's not like the first one he's ever given up, but, you know, that's not a good first impression to make.
I think there's one thing immediately that Alvarez has going for him. He will not be under any cloud of steroid suspicion.
No, there's no doubt about that.
I think we can leave him off the list of suspects. They listed at 5'10", 155. And that 155 might be pushing it. And 5'10" might be as well. He's from Mexico.
That was your playing weight, wasn't it?
No, man, I was a little thicker than that. Come on now. Not much.
Not in the minor leagues. Not in the minor leagues.
Yeah, in the minor leagues, I was about 155. I'm
want to
skinny
take this
now.
guy out
Shoot,
here
man.
on Dale Mabry Boulevard and get him a cheeseburger at one of these fast food places along here.
I always found it was interesting in spring training, too, a sign to look for early is the guys who play winter ball, because they have such a huge advantage having already came in. They're ready. They're game ready, game tested, and they get such a great jump on you. And for a young player out there who's trying to make a club, it's a great thing to go to winter ball, come in here and try to get that edge.
Good off-speed pitch there from Alvarez to get Matsui, who has struck out twice. The Yankees get 6 on homers by Sierra and Giambi.
Welcome to the wireless age. Got your HP Pavilion ZT3020 notebook PC featuring Intel Centrino mobile technology. Your HP camera and wireless printer. Setting it up was easy, right, Techno Boy? Because you went to CompUSA for that state-of-the-art HP engineering. Then CompUSA came over, set it up, and trained you for free. Who else gives you so much attention? CompUSA, unmatched.
Star weekend, and we're talking baseball because of that transaction. It was a huge move.
I know it was a huge move, and it was great for the Yankees and, like you said, for Major League Baseball. Have you seen the NBA lately?
You saying it wasn't much to do to get over that?
I just kid. I love watching the NBA.
A lot of other. There's a big golf tournament that weekend. I believe the Daytona 500 was that weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and the
you're right.
thing seemed to overwhelm everything.
Big weekend.
Well, a lot of debate about whether it's good for baseball. Certainly it just adds to the perception that there are the haves and the have-nots, and the haves keep getting more, and the have-nots don't have as much.
Oh,
Burrell hits it down to A-Rod, and Giambi able to stretch. So A-Rod stayed with the play, did not panic, and threw him out.
And you're right. I talked about earlier his arm. See, right here, he can take this bad hop, and because he's got such a strong arm, he's able to field this ball, stay with it, and flick it with no problem getting the guy out. And he got the generous call over there, but that's A-Rod making that throw.
He got a generous call, but he also has the knowledge to it, and that's one thing about A-Rod. He's a very intelligent player, along with being talented. He knows Pat Burrell doesn't run well. He didn't have to pick it up and rush anything and try to overthrow it. He just did what he had to do to get a guy out. It's like Greg Nettles said. He said it's going to be a half a step, but he's going to be out. That's what he told me every day when I played first base. Half a step, but he's going to be out.
Donovan Osborne hits Lieberthal. Now Harold, overtime, will A-Rod from third throw more over the top? I mean, he's still got that sort of
I don't think so. You know, it just depends on the play. He deep in the hole, yeah, he'll try to get on top of it. But Cal Ripken played for I don't know how many years, every game, flipping the ball from the side, and I think that's really comes down to whatever comfort level you're at. I've always thought accuracy-wise, it was a lot easier to come from the side than
players and from the association. So,
Greg
we'll see.
Nettles, this is the way Greg Nettles.
We go to the bottom half of the third inning with the Dodgers
tail it back into
at the plate.
Did you ever feel pressure at first base to make plays for guys?
In spring training, my first year with Greg Nettles, I'd never played first base. I came up as an outfielder. They asked me if I could play first. Of course, you know, if it meant me making the big league team, sure I can. And you know, he threw one, and it was up the line, and you know, towards the outfield. And I ran off the base to get it. Well, and he between innings, he said, "Kid," he said, it'll come back. Just be patient with it. And it always did. But, you know, he threw that sidearm little tailing sinker or whatever you want to call it, but it always got there just in time. But you can feel the runner coming, and that's what made me nervous about playing first base with Nettles playing third.
I like this young man right here, Chase Utley.
Chase can swing the bat, and there's no fear in it. No fear. I think he's going to be a great major league hitter. You just wonder where.
Yeah, they got to find him a place.
Yeah, you're just, well, and there was talk about trading him this year. You know, there was some talk about trading him to the Expos, maybe throwing him in a deal for Javier Vasquez that never panned out. But I think eventually, I think American League is going to be a great place for him, because you don't find many kids who can swing a bat as well as Chase Utley can.
He hit .323 in AAA last year. Scranton Wilkes-Barre with 18 homers. Got into 43 games for Philadelphia, hit .239. Giambi had trouble finding the pop-up. Handled by Wilson for the second out of the fourth inning. The Yankees lead 6-0.
Just missed that ball right there. I like the way he's able to use the whole field. His approach has really allowed him to be a pretty good hitter. And those are impressive numbers you were just talking about. I don't care what level those were put up at.
And it's every year, too. I mean, it's not like last year was an aberration for him. I mean, every year he puts up numbers. And the problem is defensively. You know, he's a little shaky at second. You know, they tried him at third last year in Scranton. I think, you know, the plan is this year, if he doesn't have a great spring, is to send him back and have him play second base again. You know, but you wonder how frustrating that's going to be. I mean, you know, you put up numbers, you want to advance, and you know, when they start saying, "Oh, we're going to send you back to work on your defense," you know, Bill Madlock told me once. He said, "You can shake a tree and 10 gloves will fall out, but only one bat." You know, you can find someone to catch it. You need to find them guys who can hit it.
Yeah.
Except you, Harold, you could do both.
This guy right here, Tomas Perez, at the plate now. I was talking with him before the game. This is the other thing I love about spring training. You get down here and talk to guys during the cage. Started switch hitting at 22 years old. That is so rare. Said he was working with his dad a lot in the offseason and started switch hitting. Amazing. 22 years old. You know, most switch hitters will start very young, you know, teen years. 22, you've already established, you've been drafted, you've been signed.
I'm not sure I've ever heard of that before.
Amazing.
Yeah, I had trouble the one way. How do they do that, switch hitters, when they go into a slump, though?
You just hope that you're facing the guy on the side you're hot on. That's it. That's all you can do.
Can you imagine having to worry about two swings?
Osborne struck out Perez. 2 strong innings for Osborne. Trying to make their club as a long shot out of the bullpen. College game night live from Cameron Indoor Stadium. Saturday at noon and 8 Eastern time in the North Carolina and Duke. Is there a better rivalry in all of college basketball? Blue Devils trying to bounce back. They had their 41-game home winning streak snapped Wednesday by Georgia Tech. North Carolina and Duke. Roy Williams looking for his first win against the arch rival.
Okay, guys, so know that we have only 3 programmers to use, 2 software engineers to use, and 2 designers to use. So the maximum at any given time, we can only be using 3 programmers, 2 software engineers, and 2 designers, right? So now the next part is to go back to our Gantt chart, right? So we're going to add our resource now to specific.
You think that'll help them in the tournament?
I think it will. You know, I think in the Pac-10 tournament, it's going to be hard to go through the tourney.
See,
and then on into the NC2As.
I live in Philadelphia now, so
St. Joe's.
I'm a St. Joe's man. Coach Phil.
What a great guy. What a character.
Gosh,
you and he are 2 of the all-time Philadelphia characters.
He's crazy, man. I tell you, he has fun with what he does, and it shows what your kids play. You know, when you watch a Jameer Nelson and what's his name, Delmonte West, or
Delonte West.
Delonte West. I mean, you know, these guys have fun playing basketball. Of course, it's a lot easier having fun when you're undefeated. But
the little point guard is sweet, man. Wow.
Jameer.
Yes. Jameer Nelson.
Yeah. Maybe the National Player of the Year. He and Emeka Okafor of Connecticut would seem to be the 2.
And they're talking about him not being a lottery pick in the NBA draft because of his size. I mean, but you've seen him. I mean, he's put together. I mean, it's not like he's a Earl Boykins type, you know, where he's 5'6" and kind of slender. This guy's put together.
How about Okafor? Graduates in 3 years, 3.76 GPA, and he's an academic athlete of the year.
You know, Brandon Duckworth couldn't get deep into games, and he was their 5th starter, and then they had to bring Amori Telemaco up after relieving in the minor leagues, and they brought him up, and he couldn't go deep into games. So, you know, but Tim Worrell, you know, you bring a guy that's 38 saves.
Wind grab that ball.
Well, it sure did. That looked like a routine fly when it left the bat. Instead, it's a home run for Posada to the opposite field. That got up into the breeze and carried out of here. The 3rd homer of the ball game for the Yankees, and they lead 7-0.
Well, it's gusting, and that's what happens in spring training in Florida and Arizona. You get a ball up, and it just takes off. That ball got in a jet stream and took off.
Yeah, and you're right. You do find that a lot down here in Florida with, you know, you'll find one part of the field where it doesn't matter if you hit it good or bad, it's going to go that way. And, you know, and again, we talked about last inning with Alvarez and now Worrell. Worrell doesn't have to worry. He just, okay, home run, who cares? I'm going to be on the team. You know, there's no pressure on him right now, and that's a great thing to have. It, you know, 38 saves will do that for you, won't it?
As many saves he had last year, I still didn't think that was the role for him. I think this is a perfect fit when you got Billy Wagner backing you up to come in and shut it down. He is a perfect guy as a setup.
The day he signed with the Phillies, I ran into him. I was at the stadium doing something, and probably nothing good, but I ran into him, and I asked him, I said, why would you come here? You know, you saved 38 games. You can go somewhere as a closer. He said the only team that, I guess there was only one team that really went actively pursued him as a closer was Toronto. He said, I want to go where I have a chance to win. He said, I think the Phillies, after playing against him, you know, with the acquisitions that they've made, and now with Billy Wagner coming forward, he said, I think we can win here. And that speaks volumes for a guy who's an older player who, you know, was a setup man. I mean, setup men make good money, but they don't make closer money. You know, he turned that down to come to Philly with a chance to win.
Well, late in his career, 36 years old. You see that more and more often. Greg Maddux the other day talking about later in your career, you become more and more concerned about the best chance to win.
Especially when you've tasted the playoffs. When you've had a taste of it.
Didn't Maddux have 12 years of chances to win?
I don't know if he was there for all 12 of those. He was in Chicago for a little while.
Wow. Well, he was there in what, 92 he got there, right? So he had
10 years.
What year is this?
I don't know.
It's 2000. He had 10 or 11 years.
He didn't get there that early. He had a lot, though.
He had his chances.
Greg, I hope you're listening because Crucky is dogging you right now.
That's my man.
Go ahead. Get back at him when you see him.
I like watching him pitch.
Tell you what, the Cubbies are going to be there.
Well, wasn't he there in 93 when you played them in the playoffs?
Yes, he was there. So, see, it was 93, so I'm thinking 92.
I remember that. I was there.
We have to get our research staff on this one.
See, when you guys are doing baseball tonight, you'll have people running around finding this stuff out for you.
Yeah.
Wilson strikes out.
What are you looking at me for?
Here
you see how he's looking at me?
Hey, you think I'm dogging
like I started this?
Well, Billy Wagner last season, his typical great year with the fastball up around 100 miles an hour.
Tell you what, the Astros will miss this guy. Trust me, by the end of the year, they will miss him. I love Octavio Dotel. I think he's going to be super. But Billy Wagner, to close the game out, in that ballpark in Houston, you better throw the ball by some people. You better not let them hit it. You got to throw it by him, and that's what Billy Wagner did to be successful in that ballpark.
Yeah, and you know, take nothing away from Jose Mesa. You know, he's had a great career. You know, he's probably going to close games for the Pirates this year, but you know, if you can make the switch from Jose Mesa, even in his prime, to Billy Wagner in his prime, you got to go with Billy Wagner. He's just a better closer.
And a terrific guy to have on the team. The home run by Posada, the only run allowed by Worrell in the 4th.
This beer has half the carbs of...
Down to John Kruk, Harold Reynolds, and Kyle Peterson. Our producer, Scott Matthews. Our director, Bob Frateroli, our terrific ESPN crew. We welcome to ESPN Patrick Cavanaugh, newcomer to our baseball administration, here overseeing the operation today. The boss here today. We have to be on our best behavior, even on day one for you, John.
Patrick, we're trying to do it right.
I didn't know.
I'll tell you what, overlooked in this game has been Osborne. He's pitched great.
Yeah, he's crafty. I mean, you know, you don't stick around for as long as he has without having some kind of knowledge of how to work hitters.
And the pitchers who have success early in spring are the crafty guys.
Yeah.
Throw that off-speed stuff, keep hitters off balance.
You know, when Donovan first came up, he threw probably, 90, 91, but he was never what you call a hard thrower. I mean, he knew how to pitch, though, and that serves him well here in this role because, I'm sure he's not going to be a guy that's going to complain. I want to start, if one of their starters gets off to a bad start, he's not going to go in and say, I need to start and create waves. He knows what his role is, and he's going to stick to it, or else Joe Torre will get rid of him.
Okay.
You agree?
Yeah, he's this year's Sterling Hitchcock. He's going to be that swing man.
He was out of baseball last year trying to make a comeback. Smash hit by Rushford, and a nice play down at first base by Tony Clark, who just came into the ball game to take over for Jason Giambi.
See, we were talking all that basketball. Tony Clark used to be a basketball player.
Pac-10, baby.
We just had to let Dick Vitale know, we can go and do that thing if we need to.
In case Dick gets sick one day and they need us.
They got us on this assignment here. Nice play by Tony Clark.
It was. Mel Stottlemyre to the mound. That's going to be it for Osborne.
Again, it's an athlete making a play.
I thought you said just big fat guys played first. What about
that? Tony's an exception to the rule. I mean, usually it is big fat guys that played first base. But now these guys change, man. They all want to be, they all want to look good. It's disappointing.
You didn't care what you look like?
No, still don't.
One of the treats of spring training, we have more access than we have in the regular season. Today we have a microphone on Jimmy Rollins, who not long ago renewed his acquaintance with Derek Jeter.
Oh my God, dang it. No, that wasn't even close, man. God, dog, they messing with me today, huh? Getting around me. I like that, man. That's Derek Jeter right there. That's what that say? Or did it say Jeter? Did it say Jeter? Pretty fly. You think that'd make me pair that say Jeter in red?
Might never know. Doing all right, though?
I'm doing good, baby. Real good.
I feel like everyone's going
100. Oh my goodness, dude.
Who?
I mean, when you came up, was it a lot of like a matter of style? Because Jimmy's into it.
No, the game has changed, man.
Harold Reynolds here with All-Star Job, and this is for handout. You like that?
Play. Now you got the long pants,
and work on
tailoring it.
That's very nice, Brad. Stand through the ball.
That stuff going on.
Brad, how you feeling, man? You feel good?
Feeling good.
You looking good.
Nice. Last one.
Nice.
Last one.
Oh, man. Oh, see, I almost walked into it, got hit. Last one, man. Competitor. See what you did to him?
Yeah, but that's part of the Jordan Jumpman family. See, if you can get in that's an exclusive club.
But let me ask you this. Michael Jordan's a great athlete, probably one of the greatest ever. But he couldn't play baseball. Why would Jeter want to wear this baseball spikes?
Because Michael Jordan makes money, and Derek understands that. See, that's the difference.
Derek ain't broke.
So Salazar base hit his second of the day. He had a double his first time up, so he's 2 for 2.
So now I'm going to get a call from Maddox and Michael Jordan.
There you go. You're just getting started.
If you're going to upset them, upset the Hall of Famers. Go right to the top.
There you go.
There's Doug Glanville for the third time today. He's grounded out twice.
It's a good situation right here for Alex to figure out. You got a guy that can run. He's not going to bunt in this situation in a 7-0 game. But, position yourself different. You might get a ground ball. This is a good opportunity to turn a double play. This is something that if I'm the manager, Joe Torre, I'm hoping to see a situation here. Yeah. Disregard the score.
Yeah, the basic grounder throw to first thing. I mean, he's going to get over that. He's going to get that down pretty easy. But, here's the thinking part. Okay, at shortstop, this is what I was going to do. What am I going to do now? Like if it's a grounder in the hole and it gets past Jeter and A-Rod goes over, he has to remember he has to get back to cover third with a runner on first. And that's something he's going to learn on the way, and he might make mistakes early.
Fastball way outside. Proctor pitching to Glanville. Proctor, 27 years old, a native Floridian from Stuart, Florida, lives in Jensen Beach, Florida now. He came over to the Yankees at the trade deadline last year from the Dodgers with outfielder Bubba Crosby in the trade that sent Robin Ventura to Los Angeles. The Yankees sent him to their AAA team in Columbus. Ground ball and a base hit through the left. But Glanville 1 for 3 now. Back-to-back hits off Proctor.
We almost called that one, didn't we?
I was hoping it was there. But that's the little thing. I was watching Derek on that play and Alex looking at each other. Derek's going to have to remind Alex, hey, go back to the bag. You know, because he's probably thinking, okay, let me get in. He's so used to being in the position of a cutoff man. You got to retrain your thinking.
And sometimes when you play the corners, especially first base, but even third base, in this situation right here, first and second, you're more concerned about getting back to the base than you are actually getting the grounder. You know, you're worried, okay, if it's a grounder in a hole, you know, is Derek going to get it and throw it to me now? You know, so I have to remember to get to the base. And consequently, you might not get the jump that you should have gotten on the ball because you're more worried about covering to your right instead of your left.
Jimmy Rollins lifts it to right. Sheffield the catch.
See, Sean, if that was a different situation in the game, I think this situation would have presented the biggest challenge for Alex. You got first and second. You got Jimmy Rollins, who can bunt, and he can run, he can slap it by you. Left-handed hitter. Now, how are you going to play this situation? I think that would have been real interesting to see if it's
How much of that will be determined by the dugout?
They'll position him. No doubt they will definitely position him. And a lot of times they want to take that blame. You know, you want that. That's the great thing about having a staff that's not afraid to say, hey, my fault. I'll take the hit on that one. Joe Torre will say, I had Alex in the wrong position if a ball gets by. He's not afraid to do that. And that's even more comforting, where it's tough. I've played for managers that waffled on, well, hey, you need to be in, you need to be halfway, you need to be back, instead of saying, come in, here's what we're doing, or stay back, we're turning two. You leave it on the player to make that decision. Now all of a sudden, he's the bad guy.
Yeah. And you read about the next day in the paper from the manager or one of the coaches, you know, I tried to move him back. He just didn't listen, or he didn't look in. And, you know, they always want to put blame elsewhere. Everyone wants to put blame elsewhere. And I think the Yankees staff, though, they take the blame. Yep. They take it off the player.
Being secure. Joe Torre very secure in himself, in his position.
And if he gets that $16 million, that's a lot of security.
Interesting, the speculation that Torre and Steinbrenner are getting along better, in part because Don Zimmer is no longer here. And Zimmer and Steinbrenner couldn't hate each other, or couldn't stand each other. They hated each other. So now that Zimmer's not here, that's one less issue between Torre and Steinbrenner.
Yeah, a lot of.
I love Zim. I just want to be on the record.
Oh, I know you do.
We all love Zim.
Yeah, he's the best. I saw Zim last night, actually. I was doing a thing for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Zim was over there. Anytime you can have Don Zimmer in your organization, it's a plus.
No question about it. Proctor out of the inning on the comebacker by Michaels on a check swing. 7-0 Yankees in their home opener.
Larry Bowl wants him now. And they basically have told Larry, when he pitches, you can't watch. Because don't even think about it. He's probably going to start the year in Double-A. And believe me, it's a fast track for this kid.
He was an A-ball last year. He's just 20 years old. Pitching to Derek Jeter. He was the first-round selection of the Phillies in 2002. 17th player taken in the entire draft.
You got Jeter, A-Rod, Giambi.
Yeah, go get him, big fella.
He pitched in the Hall of Fame game last year against the Mariners and did well. Or no, against the who they played, Devil Rays, I guess. And you know, he fared well against the Devil Ray hitters. So he's not allergic to this.
He was all an A-ball last year. 101 combined innings between Lakewood and Clearwater. And struck out 147, an average of 13 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Good looking changeup right there, man. When you can have a motion that fastball and changeup the same, you become very difficult to hit. And that's it again, another changeup.
Larry Boa just got a little more excited.
Well, that's it.
Other changes for the Phillies. Mark Budzinski has taken over in center field for Doug Glanville. The new shortstop is Anderson Machado. And the new catcher is Trent Pratt. Hamels pitching now to A-Rod. who has grounded out and walked. He scored on the Giambi grand slam after the walk in the third.
I can see why Larry Bow is excited just watching this guy's motion. And if he throws a changeup here, watch this look on this change. Another fastball.
Mid-90s fastball.
Well, and that's what they said. They said he is a young kid. He was a first-round draft pick, but the thing they like about him is his makeup. They said he's not afraid, and I'm sure that's why they. Granted, it's probably coincidence that he's pitching to Jeter and A-Rod and Tony Clark instead of Giambi, but this kid knows how to pitch, and that's the thing that's going to advance him quicker through the organization than another prospect pitcher, because he has that knowledge.
Wow, there's that changeup again.
And granted, early in the spring, that is the best pitch any pitcher can throw is a changeup.
I mean, this guy looks like he's ready to go right now.
But you heard Derek Jeter talking to Jimmy Rollins. He said, when Millwood lifted his leg, that's when he started swinging, because now this time of year, you're not going to hit both. You know that, Harold. I mean, you're going to either hit the fastball or you're going to hit the changeup, and sometimes you won't know which is which.
Well, he's throwing the changeup in the low 80s, the fastball in the mid-90s. He's had pinpoint control, and he has struck out Jeter and Rodriguez.
And the most important pitch he threw to Alex Rodriguez was the 0-2 fastball away, because Alex was sitting on that changeup the first two pitches. Then all of a sudden he went, okay, now he's not going to throw me that changeup. Drops it on him. See you later.
He promptly jumps behind Tony Clark, so I guess he just figuring this way. I already got Jeter and A-Rod. Let me walk Tony Clark, who's probably not going to start for the Yankees, and get to Sheffield.
And just really show what I got.
The Paul Owens Award for the best pitcher in the Phillies minor league system went to Hamels last year. Clark with the Mets last season at 232.
Well, I know that every team that called the Phillies this winter about making a trade, Cole Hamels' name was thrown up into the deal, and that was squashed immediately, because there's no way the Phillies will ever get rid of this kid.
Baseball America selected him the best prospect in the entire Phillies minor league system and the 17th best in all of baseball. And you can see why. He struck out the side, Jeter, Rodriguez, and Clark.
That's the changeup, man.
Wow.
And it's unfair. You guys know that.
Why is it unfair?
You can't hit a changeup.
Not this time of the year.
Should I make that illegal? First week or two in spring training? No changeup.
They should tell you what's coming.
He could have told them it was coming. They still wouldn't have been able to hit it as good as that changeup was.
That's a good point, Sean.
Great motion.
Wow. I know he's only 20, but if he continues to pitch like that this spring, they might be forced to take him.
Well, the other thing is the days of someone being 20, 21, 22, too young to be in the big leagues are over. They're not afraid to take kids to the big leagues now, even on a team like the Phillies that's going to contend. I mean, Alex Rodriguez broke in with the Mariners. He was 18, 19 years old. Ken Griffey Jr., I played with him. He was 19. They do it all the time. Furcal was 19, well, really 21. But either way, they're breaking in young guys all the time. And I think those days are over. They're looking at the talent and saying, we got to win, and we're going to go get it.
But, when you came up in the big leagues, when you finally met a big league player, you were in awe. And these kids aren't in awe anymore.
All right.
Let's head down to the field. Kyle Peterson standing by with Alex Rodriguez.
Guys, with A-Rod and Derek Jeter, Alex first talked about how it felt to get this first one out of the way.
Well, it was fun. It was just fun being out there for the first time. It's been about 4 or 5 months. Just felt good.
Derek, you look over, first pitch today, brand new third baseman, and it's A-Rod. What goes through your mind at that point? How excited are you to see this guy now wearing a pinstripe?
Well, yeah, we played against him enough times, so now it's good to have him on our side. So it's going to be fun and exciting for us. It's something that we've been looking forward to.
Alex, talk about it at the beginning. Get the first ground ball of the game. You take a throw early. Does that help you to relax a little bit more over third base?
Yeah, Doug hit me a 2-chopper that I backed up on. It was good to get that one out of the way, but that's the first of many.
Derek, the moves you guys made this season, obviously you bring in Kevin Brown, Javi Vasquez. Is this everything that you guys need to do to now get to that level that you're so accustomed to in New York?
Well, you hope so, but only time will tell. I mean, we have a pretty good team on paper, but we still have to go out there and perform on the field. So we're excited about it, but it's going to be a long season.
Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, thanks for taking the time. Sean, back to you.
All right, Kyle.
Well, A-Rod better get used to that 4 and 5 months off. So now it's going to be 3 or 4 months off, isn't it?
Yeah, it changes. Definitely.
Matt Burrell, the batter here as we go to the 6th inning. Phillies trying to get on the board. They had 5 hits in the first 3 innings, but could not score.
Hey, you think about it, the Yankees, Derek Jeter in particular, has probably played more games than anybody in all of baseball. You know, I mean, think about it. He's always in October. He's always playing in October. He doesn't get a break.
Yeah, not at all. And the interesting thing, too, about the Yankees is they come to spring training thinking World Series. A lot of the clubs come there saying, let's get to the postseason, see what happens. Big difference.
Yeah, let's maybe we can sneak out a wild card if we play real good. That's not in the equation for these guys. They don't think wild card. They think, like you said, they have to be world champions.
Let's talk about Pat Burrell for a second. What did you see in him last year? Why he struggled so much? John? I know you were watching him a lot.
You know, what I saw with Pat was he tried to pull everything, and I think that getting Jim Thome hurt him. I really do. I think he tried to keep up with Jim.
Yeah, he did.
You know, they made a big deal out of Jim Thome hitting one on a highway in batting practice in spring training. Well, then next thing you know, Pat's swinging hard, and he's trying to hit home runs, and he's trying to pull everything. And you know, his natural stroke when he first came up and when he was in the minor leagues was to right center field, and he just completely got away with that. And then, you know, he tried to bat wiggle like Gary Sheffield does, and then he tried not to, and so he was just confused last year. And there's so many people telling him what to do that it just got him more confused. And I think this year it's going to be Greg Gross, the hitting coach, and him, and that's it.
Yeah, I was talking with Greg Gross before the game. You know, they have 28 offensive players in camp, hitters, and they've got 5 different instructors that work with them. And then, obviously, when they dwindle down, Greg will work with everybody. But I think you hit it on the head. It seemed like when I watched the Phillies last year, he had a different stance, a different approach every night. And that was the only ball that he could hit last year, a ball inside that he could jerk. And watching him take batting practice today, he was rifling balls to right center field, right back up the middle. It looked like the same Pat that I saw even in college at the University of Miami when he was playing back then, College World Series days.
Yeah, and he has to be big for him this year. I mean, you cannot go like you did last year with no one hitting in between Abreu and Thome, because Larry Bow right now doesn't know who's going to hit third and who's going to hit fifth. All he knows is he's praying that Pat Burrell can hit fourth, and he'll worry about the rest later. But this is a big concern.
I can't see, and I've heard a lot of people talking about, hey, they'll bench him, they'll sit him down or whatever. I cannot see that happening in my mind.
Well, last year they did. Last year they'd sit him down for a game, maybe 2 games. There's Pat leaving the game there, but you know, I think this year they expect to win. They don't expect to, you know, let's just get in the playoffs. They want to win this thing. And if Pat gets off to a slow start, you know, there has to be a reason why Ricky Leday came back. There has to be a reason why Doug Glanville came back. You know, or they re-signed Doug Glanville.
Eric Almonte has taken over for Alex Rodriguez at third base.
Is that in relation to Danny Almonte, his younger brother, maybe? Is that his younger brother?
Miguel Cairo at shortstop. He's part of the equation at second base as well. Veteran Darren Bragg is in center field. And another veteran behind the plate, Joe Girardi, who's here in an interesting situation. He doesn't make the team. He has a broadcasting job with the Yankees waiting for him.
It's a great deal for Joe. I mean, you either call games or you play in the games. And it's great for the Yankees to have a guy who's played 15 years in the big leagues. Your backup catcher, you got John Flaherty and you got Jorge Posada. He's going to work out all year long. If somebody gets hurt, hey, we got a guy we can activate right now. What a great gig. I would love that.
Apparently he thinks that, you know, he can come in this without any practice. This is not an easy job.
Here's Bubba Crosby, the new right fielder, making the catch on the pop fly by Lieberthal, who's now 1 for 2. The single, a hit by pitch, and the fly to right. 1 out here in the 6th. The Yankees lead 7-0. They've been out hit 7-5, but they've hit 3 home runs to account for all 7 runs. A 2-run homer by Ruben Sierra, a grand slam by Jason Giambi, and a solo homer by Jorge Posada.
And I think it's great what the Yankees do with their players. You know, they bring back all the old timers to come to spring training just to hang out. You know, and they make this deal with Joe Girardi, who's, you know, was a great catcher for him. you know, helped them win a couple World Series. But, you know, to give him that option, you know, either you make the team or, you know, you can announce for us. I mean, that just says wonders about a class organization like these guys, even though we had to park in St. Pete to get to Tampa to get to this game, you know, but we're not going to hold that against Mr.
Not
Steinbrenner.
exactly a warm and fuzzy atmosphere around here today. Little pop fly again to right from Utley, and Crosby has another.
Well, Sean, some of us parked here. Some of us got dropped off.
Hey, I was smart. I've been here before. You know, I had breakfast with some friends of mine and had Jim Krevax drop me off. Drop me off,
New York
man.
on the edge attitude pervades even here at their minor league complex. There's a lot of that. Oh, yeah, buddy, you think you're going to park here? Sorry, the lot's 10 miles down the street. Good luck.
Well, the thing is, they all have to answer to the boss, man.
Yes,
and you know what? He's not letting.
to park too.
Yeah, you better do what you're told.
John
That's
doesn't know he
fear.
doesn't get reimbursed for that either. That's right.
No.
Welcome.
You know what? Honestly, besides going to the Veterans Stadium, I've never driven to a ballpark before. This is the first time I've ever driven to a ballpark.
Excuse me.
And I got lost.
It was to get in, did you?
Excuse me,
I got
big leaguer.
lost.
This is harder than most, believe me.
Excuse me, big leaguer.
Yeah, well, you pampered big leaguers.
Yeah, I didn't get dropped off.
Never drove.
Well, let me ask you.
Sorry.
You said you had breakfast, then your buddy dropped you off. Did you pay for breakfast?
No. Hey, that's my agent. He's supposed to pay.
He's Tommy Lasorda. He's America's guest over here.
You should see him in Omaha, the College World Series. He's there for 2 weeks on the scholarship. He doesn't pay for anything.
It's a good gig, the old College World Series. Not too far off. They're already up and flying in college baseball.
Looking forward to it. Of course, a lot of college baseball in this area. A lot of the teams from the north come down here on their spring breaks and play local college teams. Red Sox, as a matter of fact, are playing 2 college teams today from Boston College and Northeastern University.
And getting Schilling and Pedro.
Yeah, how'd you like to be those college kids going against Schilling tonight?
Yeah, how about that?
I'm enjoying your spring break.
Schilling and Pedro tonight.
Yeah.
That's great.
Coach, we don't get to see that too often up in the Northeast.
3-1 from Scott Proctor.
Uh-oh.
Well struck by Perez to deep right. Crosby running out of room. That ball is gone. Well, the long balls continue with the breeze blowing out here at Legends Field. Proctor gives up a 2-run homer to Tomas Perez, and the Phillies are on the board. It is 7-2.
Now, the last time Tomas was up, I was saying he started switch hitting at 22 years old. He's a natural right-handed hitter. He has not even been hitting left-handed that long.
He's got some pop, though, from the right side. I got to see him a lot last year. And the only problem with him last year was he cannot do it every day. He's a guy that 2 times a week, 3 times a week maybe, he's great. But if you put him out there every day, when David Bell got hurt and he had to play a lot, some guys don't, mentally, they can't do it every day.
There's a diving attempt by Bragg. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. He robs Jim Rushford of a hit. Darren Bragg, who's bounced around to a number of different teams, trying to make it as a backup outfielder, and plays like this will help you cause.
Sure will. Well, he could have broke his wrist on that one. Great job of rolling underneath that and staying with that ball.
Could have broke his wrist and his nose, I think. It's got everything trapped underneath him.
2 runs in the inning for Philadelphia on the home run by